What's up, traders? Welcome to this week's Weekly Forex Forecast. Now, in this Weekly Forex Forecast, before we get into things, I would like to highlight the fact that I was unavailable for the whole week last week. And with that being said, I am back now and ready to get the ball rolling as I usually do. So without wasting further time, traders, let's get into this. Remember, the first thing that we are going to look for is the supply zone, as we are structurally still bearish to the downside. So with that being said, this is the first place to look for selling opportunities right at our supply zone at 1.6 on 1.1650. Then look for selling opportunities to the downside to take out structure at 1.1541. Now this would be a great target place to look for, but if we do have a bit of a deeper pullback in the scenario whereby we come and retest the second supply zone here at 1.1680, this would be a great place to look for selling opportunities again to continue selling to the downside at 1.1541. Now, if it happens that this is totally being invalidated and we do reach our weekly break of structure right here at 1.1730, this would also be a great place for you to look for a pullback if we breach this, and then look for buying opportunities from this previous weekly break of structure at 1.1730. Then look for buying opportunities to continue to the upside to make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio. 1:3 risk to reward ratio. Now this would be a fantastic place going to the upside. I don't want to waste time on this weekly forex forecast. Now this would be a fantastic setup going into the beginning of the week and to the last days of the week. So with that being said, let's jump straight to the pound and the dollar to see what the market has in store for us without wasting much of our time today. So traders, with the pound and the dollar, very simply put, what we would like to see is a retest of this supply zone right here at 1.3370. Look for bearish patterns and formations right here and a continuation to the downside. But if this does not happen, of course, we would be looking for our second place of supply zone and look for bearish patterns and formations right around this level of 1.3418, and then a continuation to the downside to take out structure right here at 1.3261. This would be a fantastic place to take profit at if we have taken a sell from either of these two places. Now, if it does happen that we do get a break of structure, a change in market price, then the break above this would be a great place to look for a pullback and buying opportunities right at the weekly break of structure at 1.3489 to look for buying opportunities to the upside. Now, with that being said, this would be a greatest buy opportunity of all time going into next week, only if the dollar weakens due to the tariff imposed that Trump has initiated again. So with that being said, or rather, if it does reach this level without the break above, let's discuss this option further. If it does reach this level without breaking to the upside before it continues to the upside, a pullback will be imminent to retest the previous supply zone, which will now act as the demand zone, and a continuation to the upside to make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio would be a fantastic setup for you if you are looking for buying opportunities. The only time that buying opportunities will be favorable is if the price reaches 1.3489 or breaks above this 1.3489. Then this is when the buyers will be looking favorably over the sellers. Until then, everything still points out that the dollar has strength over the euro and the pound. So traders, with that being said, let me just say I would like to remind you that it is free to join the real account traders community. And for you to join the real account traders community, you have to register with our XNS exclusive link, verify your trading account, of course, and fund the minimum of $100 or more, and then send proof of registration to admin at 068 060 Now, with that being said, traders, this would be an opportunity for you to join a real account traders community, a community of real account traders only, positive community of traders only, and not negative people who quit or who do not know what they are doing. So if you are not sure whether you should join or not, just go back to our trading analysis of previous months, weeks. It's up to you how long you want to back test our strategy, and then go back and see how much we are making or how correct we are in every week. And without wasting much of our time, traders, let's go straight to our euro and the Canadian dollar currency pair. So traders, with the euro and the Canadian dollar, it's very similar to the euro and the pound. In the situation like this, would be a great place to look for buy selling opportunities to the downside right here at 1.6290. This would be the first place to look for selling opportunities, of course, and a second place to look for selling opportunities would be 1.6322. 1.6322. This would be a great place to look for selling opportunities only if the first demand zone did not hold, then the second demand zone, supply zone, would hold. Now, with that being said, the target would still be 1.6172. Now, with that being said, traders, if it happens that we do have a break above this weekly break of structure at 1.6371, then a pullback will most likely be imminent and buying opportunities would be favorable to continue to the upside and make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio setup. So with that being said, this is the euro and the Canadian dollar. Remember, in here on YouTube, you're only getting the 6 free YouTube watch list, and to get all the currency pairs or the custom currency pairs that you prefer personally, you have to join the real account traders community, which is completely free. All you have to do is register your account and fund $100. You do not pay me any money. So with that being said, if you'd like to get or join the real account traders community to get exclusive access to signals that include gold, silver, and Bitcoin, then you wouldn't be having any problem when you are joining that crew, because not only are you getting deep analysis on the real account traders community, but you're getting both the London session and the New York session analysis of each currency pair breakdown. And then, with that being said, here on the free YouTube watch list, we all know that you get only the London session analysis, and after the London session analysis, you do not get further analysis of the day. You get only one analysis per day, but it still also helps a lot of traders to see where the market is going. Uh, the real account traders community will help you understand or see events like non-farm payrolls, the CPI, and the interest rate decision, as they will be traded live. They are traded live always with the real account traders community. So that is it from the euro and the Canadian dollar. We would like to go straight to the pound and the Canadian dollar. And traders, with the pound and the euro, or rather the euro and the pound, this currency pair lacks direction. I will not be wasting much time on it, as I will not be personally trading it going into next week. Now, with that being said, traders, why do I say this lacks current momentum? Firstly, let's look at the bigger structure. Before, if you are following us week in and week out, you know ever since we've reached this target, I was a big fan of selling this to these levels, and we did take out to these levels, and afterwards we do have something that looks like a shooting star in a weekly on the weekly basis with last week's candle, the last week's weekly candle. But if you do pay close attention to this, after receiving that sort of a shooting star candle, we do have another thing that looks like bearish confirmations, of course. So what I would like to see in this currency pair is continuation to the upside, rather a break below here, and then a continuation to the downside. So for me, this is not clear. I do not, you know, guys, for those of you who follow me on these videos, you know that I'm not a big fan of forcing trades. I've never forced any trades. If it doesn't look right, then there are other pairs to look for. Now, this is one of the reasons why people should just join the real account traders community, because of right here on YouTube, when uh the setup is not good looking, we leave it, but we do not replace it with the another currency pair, but rather we just leave it out of the watch list. So for me personally, I will not be trading this. This does not align with any of my strategies, but there are others out there who might be trading this willingly or happily, but for me, I'm not into this. So with that being said, let's go straight to the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, as it is the last currency pair that we'll be analyzing right here on YouTube. Traders, with the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, this might just keep on going to the upside, because of the daily resistance has just been broken, and it now looks like we are trading to the upside with the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. Now, the daily resistance was at 1.3923. Now, we have well breaking above that resistance zone, and for now, what we will be looking for going into next week is, if we do get a pullback, to retest this and then look for buying opportunities right at 1.3970, and then take profit right at 1.4033. Now, this would be a great place to look for buying opportunities. But if the pullback extends, or we have an extended pullback, the second demand zone that we'll be looking for buying opportunities right here will be at 1.3962. Then a continuation to the upside also is still imminent, to take out structure at 1.4033. Now, this would be a great place to take out structure at, and this is a fantastic week going into this with our currency pair called the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. Now, there is a sign, there is a pattern always that I want to explain, that I'm selling the Canadian dollar against the dollar, but I'm buying it against the euro and the pound. Now, that simply means that there's one pattern against the Canadian dollar, against the euro, against the pound. I'm still buying the US dollar, as it is one of the best performing markets from the last week and going into this week. So the US dollar is my number one buying or the most attractive currency going into the markets next week. Now, traders, that is it from me, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, of course, and make sure that you tell somebody who you think should know about this channel, so that they can keep their knowledge up and stop being frustrated in the market without knowing which levels to watch or when on where to buy. So thanks from me, and happy trading.